I've got in my hands here the Hard Korr heavy duty battery box with voltage sensitive relay, and I'm going to take you for a bit of a walkthrough today. Let's check it out.
Hit it.
Hey folks, Ben from Snowy's here today with a pretty cool product, which is the Hard Korr heavy duty battery box with voltage sensitive relay. In a nutshell, what this is an empty box in which you can place a car battery, or preferably a deep cycle battery, connected up inside here, which we'll show you shortly, and it then gives you spots on the outside to be able to run devices, USB ports, cigarette outlets, and you can also charge it from either solar or from your vehicle. Benefit of this is you can charge it while it's in your car, you can leave it mounted in your car, or when you get to campsite after you've been driving, you can take it out of your car and put it in your tent and power your fridge and appliances or devices from inside your tent or inside, away from your vehicle. So in the box, when you buy your battery box, you get the battery box itself, which is this unit here. All the wires and stuff are contained within. You get an instruction manual, and you get a few other bits and pieces. These are little rubber grommets to cover the ports of the battery that are inside the box. We'll show you more on that shortly. You get 4 hex nuts. These are a little hex key to tighten them up. They go in the corners here to secure the lid once the battery's inside. And you also get a couple of mounting brackets and a strap. Now, this can be used to mount the battery box securely in your vehicle. If you were to mount one of these each side of the battery box here inside the vehicle, say on a rear shelf or the floor in the rear of your car, and then use this strap to go right underneath the box, up around the back and down the side. You can tighten it up around here so that it stays secure in your vehicle. Now, the unit itself weighs about 3.4 kilos. Measurements are about 45.5 centimeters from end to end. That's from the very ends here. About 33 centimeters in height, and it's about 24 centimeters in width this way. That's to this edge here. But if you need to account for this little on-off switch here, the isolation switch, that adds about another 3 centimeters to the width. So about 27 centimeters total to this edge here. Now, it's made with a tough ABS plastic, so it's nice and durable while making it reasonably lightweight. Obviously, once the battery's in there, it's going to be far heavier. Before we jump inside and talk about the battery dimensions, we'll just do a bit of a tour around the outside. This end, not much to see, just a handle. These are kind of handy little rope handles here. You can loop them over so you've got something decent to hold on to, or just leave it lengthened out like that to hold on to it. On the front, starting with these ports here, we've got 2 12-volt marine cigarette sockets here to run devices from. So this is output ports, and also 2.1 amp or 2.1 amp total 5-volt USB outputs here. Further over from that, we've got the main isolation switch. This turns power in and out of the unit off completely. So when this is off in the down position, the battery is disconnected from all of these plugs here. Further across from that, you've got your little display here with an on-off switch, so you can switch that on and off as you need, which shows DC voltage in the battery and also the state of charge of the battery. And if we jump around to this end here, these are our input ports. So starting with this black one up here, this is the one that has the voltage sensitive relay in with it. So you use this port only if you're connecting to your cranking battery in your vehicle. There's a wiring kit that Hard Korr produce to make that nice and easy, with an Anderson plug on the end of it that goes straight into this and goes to the cranking battery in your car. That voltage sensitive relay cuts out at 12.7 volts and cuts in at 13.2 volts. So it's going to stop your auxiliary battery, this one here, from flattening your car battery. The other 3 are 50 amp inputs as well from, say, a solar panel or a suitable 240 to 12 volt charger. And the big plug here, this is actually for jump starting a car. This is 175 amp output. Hard Korr do an optional accessory with jumper cables on it as well, so you can plug this in here and jump start your car, providing the battery you've got inside has got enough cold cranking amps to do so. We'll have a look inside the box. It'll accommodate AGM, calcium, lead acid, lithium, wet cell batteries up to 33 centimeters in length, 17.5 centimeters in width, and about 22 centimeters in height. And inside the box, there is this Velcro strap that you can use to secure the battery in place inside the box to stop it rattling around, to keep it secure. The lid, if we look underneath, there's all the business end up here. We don't need to do anything up there. That's all wired up to work. The only thing we need to be concerned about are these two wires here, which go to the top of the battery inside the box here. They can be used in conjunction with these little plastic caps here to go over the top of that to stop any potential shortage across the two ports. Once the battery is connected up inside the box there, we can then put this lid on, and we use the 4 hex screws here to secure it down in place in each corner here. We just do them up, and that way the battery is secure inside the box. The lid's secure on top of the base, and we can then use our other strap to secure it down inside the vehicle if we like. Now the maximum weight they claim that this can carry, I guess it's to do with the carry handle, is about 35 kilos. So by the time you get the battery in there and this, you're going to come pretty close, particularly for some sealed lead acid batteries, but you got a bit of a buffer there. So once the battery's secured inside there, we're ready to use the unit. Unfortunately, we don't have a battery we can put in there today, but we'll turn this isolation switch from the off position to the on position here, and that will then engage the 12 volt power to our output ports here, and we can start using them. The display over here has got a little on-off switch here, so we can turn it on as we need it or off as we don't. If we just look down at the label on the front here, it'll show us what it looks like. So on the right-hand side here, it'll show us the current voltage of the battery. So that's obviously going to change depending on what sort of load the battery's under, and then also the charge state of the battery there as well. Now, some common questions we get around the battery box here is, one of the main ones is, can I use, or do I need a DC to DC charger for use with the box here? Short answer is no, not necessarily, because it's got a voltage sensitive relay in here already. So if you've got an older style vehicle whereby the alternator just puts power out to the battery continuously all the time without making any adjustments, if you wire this to your main charging battery, then the voltage sensitive relay inside here is going to cut in at 13.2 volts when your alternator kicks in, and it's going to cut out when the battery level drops below 12.7, so it's not going to sap power from your cranking battery. Best way to set that up is to use the optional accessory from Korr, which is their dual battery setup. It's got all the fuses and everything you need, and a nice big long thick cable with an Anderson plug that you can plug straight into here and attach it directly to your battery. Second question is around solar. Can I use solar to charge the battery? Absolutely you can. There's 3 Anderson ports here rated at 50 amps. So you can put 50 amps worth of power in this from a solar panel. You'll still need to use the solar controller in line with that to monitor or to manage the actual power going into the battery here. Also had questions about whether you can use this as an input. The answer there is no. This is a 175 amp output port only. Best used with the optional accessory that Korr make, which is their jump start kit. Has a nice big plug that goes in there and 2 jump starter cables on the end. Another question, can I charge from 240 volt? Yes, you can, with a suitable 240 to 12 volt transformer, and obviously you're going to need Anderson plugs on the end of the transformer here, because the plugs on the front here you cannot charge from. These are output ports only, so if you've got a 240 to 12 volt charger or transformer with a cigarette plug in it, you can't charge via these ones here, only via the plugs on the end. Overall, this is a really useful setup to your camp kit. Your 4-drive or camper van can get away with having to have a fixed battery underneath the bonnet of your vehicle. You can have a portable power source that you can have a spot to put in the rear of your car or somewhere in your car. Easily plug it in when you're driving, take it out and transport it inside your tent or under your shelter when you're at the campsite. You can grab these online at snowies.com.au at our lowest prices every day. If you've got any questions though, let us know down in the comments below. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. Subscribe to our channel. We'll send you all of our latest, greatest information, or check out some other videos like this one down here.